Okay, so today we're finishing up our clay pieces. You either have a snowman, a tree, or in second grade we're painting a hand. Here's my example hand. It broke, so I'm going to use it to kind of review painting procedures with you. Now, these are different paints than what you're used to using. They are a gloss paint, which is kind of cool because it will make it really shiny when it dries, where the normal paint we use does not end up shiny when it dries. So, to start, you can paint any color you want on your hand. I just want to make sure that you paint the heart and the hand different colors so that you get that contrast and it pops out at you. You do not need a lot of water. These are a tempera-based paint, which means that whatever you choose to paint it, the less water you use, the better. Because if you get too much water, it tends to get watered down and just not show up as well. So if you can see how shiny that is as I'm putting it on, you'll notice that that's how shiny it'll be when it dries as well. Now, when you're painting anything that's three-dimensional or that's bumpy, if you're doing a two-dimensional piece that's bumpy, you're going to have to paint a little differently. Normally, I talk about painting with just brush strokes where you're using just the very tippy toe of your brush. But with this kind of paint and on a rough surface, you're going to have to do what we call dabbing the paint, which means you are putting little tiny dabs or kind of pushing it into all the little different textures and surface that you see. You want to make sure you turn it so you get the edges really well as the top. As you paint, you do not have to paint all the way onto the bottom of the piece, but you do want to make sure you get these sides as well as the top part. So if I'm painting my heart purple and I have to paint it two different colors for my whole clay piece, that means I'm going to have to choose a different color for my background. Now, one thing about this paint that is also different, it tends to be a little stickier. So when I paint, I want to make sure that I kind of wipe it off on the edge of the paint tray as I work so it doesn't end up getting in the other paints and getting mixed. Now, when you switch colors, make sure you really scrub the brush onto the bottom of the water dish and wipe it on the sponge so you get that extra water off. And the only other thing that's different about these paints is the white does not actually paint on white. It's going to paint on kind of a clear color, but since our clay is white, it will dry and look like just a shiny white. So the whole point of painting it white, even if you want your clay hand to be white in certain areas, by painting it white, you're going to make sure that it gets that nice shine to it. All right, get to painting.